Good morning, beautiful PokeMMO players. How are we doing today? What's up? What's up? Been doing some good work today. Got a nice sort of dialogue piece video created this morning that I'm excited to edit, put some music over, export, and upload later on. Hopefully, I have some interesting guides, a cool guide coming around the corner. So I'm doing some pretty interesting stuff, some exciting content. This is going to be a shorter week of streams, unfortunately. Welcome to Stream Recap 224, which is crazy. Thank you for watching. How are we doing today? We're going to be jumping into some PokeMMO activities, just sort of intermediate stuff or in between stuff heading into the Christmas event. We're around 30 to 31 days away from the Christmas event within PokeMMO, most likely. Obviously, we never actually know for sure. I'm going to be doing two things today. Well, a couple things most likely. Playing PvP, number one. I want to jump into randoms. I want to relearn the metagame and look to eventually work towards one of the not free, but like gift competitive Pokemon that you earn from actually playing random. So this one expires within 6 hours, and I'm curious to see what the new one is. I'm really just trying to learn the metagame a little bit, and then I'll actually jump into like trying to go for that competitive Pokemon. So I think earning those comps is one of the most fun achievements in PvP for me personally. I'll also be doing some shiny hunting today and possibly storyline progress. That one's less. I was planning on that heading in today, but some things changed, so we'll just have to see to make sure. But good morning. Other than that, just talking about possible Christmas prep, talking about what's going on in the PokeMMO community, and just discussing general things. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Good morning, good morning. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. All right, we got some randoms PvP games under our belts. I went 0-2 today, which is unfortunate, but really tough games, really tight games. I feel like I actually played quite well. Not perfect by any means, always ways to moves to improve, and things I should have done at different times based on percentages, and you got to just learn. Like, I always tell people, don't feel bad if you like haven't played PvP in a long time or are trying to get into PvP. It's total. If you go like 0-10, like you gotta just lose games because you have to learn, right? So just relearning the numbers, learning what sets things have in randoms, for example. You got to do it. You got to bite the bullet. You got to just learn. So I'm totally okay. I think I learned a lot in those two losses, like more than I would have if I had wins, right? So pretty happy with it. We're gonna do some shiny hunting over in Johto, just casually heading over to Sandslash, one of my favorite shunts in all of PokeMMO. My first shiny I ever got in Pokemon was a shiny Sandslash in Pokemon Black and White 1, and I Masuda method bred for it specifically. So I would love to hopefully see that Sandslash, that red little hedgehog, pop up today, hopefully. I haven't even talked about this in the stream recap at all, okay? So here, I might start leading up until the Christmas event. I apologize if you don't enjoy this. I might be including a little bit more of my personality, a little bit more of non-PokeMMO stuff, because there's like, I'm gonna be honest, there's not a whole lot going on right now in PokeMMO. And all the prep work, like there's so many events where it's like, okay, Halloween events coming up, get a Chandelure, get a Typhlosion, a Crocodile, that will almost guaranteed be good. Get this, get that, blah, blah, blah. For Christmas, it's like, I have no idea what's happening this year. It literally could be anything. Like, we just have no idea at all, like no leads. So like, I feel like it's more fun to just do a little different stuff. So I'm excited. The point is, I'm so excited for the Ravens game tonight. Hopefully we have a good game against the Chargers, right? Not the biggest, sports expert, but I enjoy watching my Ravens game every week. That's what I can say. Wait, that's really funny, Selling Lobes. You said we need a Pat football watch party. So sometimes, if it's like a Monday Night Football, sometimes they show it on like Twitch. Like they'll do like you can watch football games on Twitch, which is hilarious. The idea of watching sports with Twitch chat on the side. Very funny meme. But if the Ravens game is ever on Twitch, keep an eye out. I will be spamming Twitch chat, okay? I'll keep an eye out for Patrouski. Keep an eye out for the name. It's only Thursday football games? Gotcha. Amazon owns Thursday Night Football. Gotcha. Okay, so if the Ravens play on Thursday again this season, check me out. Okay, good call, chat. Good call. All right, on top of my shiny hunting, I'm also going to go ahead and try to test how many encounters I can get within 1 hour, okay? I haven't tested this post like string standardization change, so I do want to see the rates and see if it's slower at all. I'm gonna go ahead and get up a notepad document and write that the start encounters are 6,875, and we'll do end encounters, and then I will have my 1 hour phone timer over on the side. So I'll see you guys within 1 hour. I am gonna be running back and forth, just sort of right here at this location. So I'm gonna go ahead and start right now. I'll see you guys in 1 hour and see how many encounters we can get post strings without. So I don't have any strings installed. This is just like instant speed up texting game, and then I might even install the newest strings, and we'll see if it's any faster. And it might be. We'll have to just see. This is a great question. Moveset on Spinda for alphas, obviously other than skill swap. So for people who don't know, you can use hidden ability or alpha Spinda to help catch your other alphas, essentially skill swapping the contrary ability onto them. So instead of when you fail like a Pokeball catch or whatever, their stats go up. Contrary will make it go down. So you can like lower their stats to like -3 or whatever, make it much easier to catch them. So I personally do skill swap, hypnosis, swagger, and then like superpower or yeah. So that moveset specifically, right? Or like CC or whatever. So superpower / CC is an option if you're against like a Braviary or a Pokemon that like something that can if you're against a Mon that's gonna be spamming close combat, you don't want to skill swap contrary on it because that's gonna be like impossible to catch and like really difficult to fight, etc. etc. Because those drops from those attacks will actually be raises, right? So you might want to keep that for yourself to get really tanky or whatever, right? And then hypnosis, obviously, as a backup option to put it to sleep. It's not great accuracy, but it's just something. Skill swap's the main thing. And then swagger to minus their attack by 2 after you skill swap, and then also confuse them, which is super good. That's what I do. Did you see the Thanksgiving vanities in the gift shop? No! What? I haven't heard anybody talk about that. Wait, sick. Wait, good eye, Little Flame. Thank you. Wait, that's for it's not like that important, but it's cute. I like it, dude. It's cool to see when things like that are updated. So yeah, usually they'll pop up over here as well, but like if they're over here, it means they're like really fresh, right? So there it is. The turkey hood, the turkey hat are now in the gift shop for a few days. There's no Thanksgiving event, but they always bring back these like seasonal vanities like that. So good eye, dude. Thanks for that shout out. For those who don't know, I'm getting some questions. For those who don't know why this Christmas event is so unpredictable / will be so different is because of 2 major things. Number 1 is that for a long time, the go-to Christmas event was doing Twist Mountain and giving out Elfbot vanities. Now, we've done all the Elfbots. The Elfbot stuff is over. It's done with. We're out of them. We've done all the typings, right? So last year, they ditched the Elfbot. They ditched Twist Mountain for the very first time. And they essentially gave us what was known as like an IOU vanity. Now, so they ditched Elfbots. Elfbots are done. But then last year, they didn't really have an event ready either. So what happened was, because they were busy working with Johto, they were so busy and so like, they were pushed towards getting Johto out prior to the holiday season. Last year's holiday events were kind of probably the worst in Pokemon history, but it was also expected and also okay because there was so much other amazing content that came out that year. It's a small dev team. You gotta be understanding to some extent. It made sense in my opinion. So we got to set an IOU Christmas event that gave us the wish. That was the wishing stone, right? People forget that was the holiday boost. That was the wishing stone. It was essentially, hey, we fucked up. We don't really have an event ready. Here's a 20% boost for shiny hunting, and then here's an item that we'll use later on, right? It doesn't even have a use yet, but here you go. That's what happened. So this year is the first year I'm guessing, we could be wrong on the guess as well. Maybe they will go back to Elfbots. Maybe they will go back to previous years. I don't know, right? But I think that this year is going to be I think it's going to be different. I think it's going to be like a new thing. I could be totally wrong. I just don't know. I don't know what we have to expect. For those reasons, I don't think we have anything that's predictable. I think it'll be something. It might be new in terms of taking the Halloween event or taking the Lunar New Year event and like doing a twist on it. Like it doesn't need to be like entirely new content, but it will be a Christmas event that we haven't seen in this form probably before, but I could be wrong. Shadow Cape prices are crazy right now. Someone said in a comment that they dropped to 6 mil. Is that true? I was one of the only people. I hate to say I told you so, but like I was one of the only people I saw in the entire PokeMMO community. I think everybody thought this item would be an insane investment. And I was one of the only people, I think I might have been the only one I saw saying this item would drop in price. And I think it would drop to like 4 mil. That was my prediction. That was based on the quantity available on the GTL and like how many are sit and don't sell. I predicted back when this Vanity was at like 12 mil, back at like towards the beginning of the event, it would eventually drop to 4. We'll have to see. I very well could still be wrong. It could, Vanities like this are crazy. It could double to like 12 or 20 mil within a few days. Like stuff like this can be crazy. So I could very well still be wrong. And we're gonna have to like be patient and careful and see what develops and what happens. That's a good counter call though, Kenny. And I want to call out like things that I called correctly and wrong, right? Because you'd never call everything correct in a market. I'm shocked. I am shocked that Flaming Demon Skulls have dropped as much as they have. I did not think that they would drop like this. I kind of thought they'd be similar to the Dragon Mounts, where they actually slowly and like somewhat rose after the events were over. So that's one that I was dead wrong on for sure. They have been slowly trickling down. Hopefully they spike back up or rebound. We'll have to just wait and see, because I think they are an amazing looking vanity. I feel like I always say this. I like constantly misjudge RP vanities. I don't know why. It is like, if I ever say to invest in the RP vanity, do the opposite. Whenever I give advice on the RP vanity, just do the opposite. Because I actually just I always get it wrong every single time. I've never guessed it correctly, I feel like. I love how when new vanities coming out ramps up the prices of existing ones because they look good together. I think it's super something to consider. And like, it's same with like Pokemon, right? Like when a new raid comes out, it ups the market of that. Like Primeape is the easiest example, right? Recently, it's like one of the coolest things in any MMO, especially in PokeMMO, Pokemon when this happens, right? When Primeape became a prime target for Pokeyen making, and Primeapes got really expensive because it was meta for fighting Darkrai, one of the only like vital spirit, physically attacking, fighting type mons that could outspeed. It was really, really cool. That was a really awesome thing to see. Considering the large community that I know in PokeMMO, do you think your words can move the market, for example, for the Shadow Cape? To some extent, absolutely. It would be naive to think that like my words or whatever I say like doesn't affect the market to some extent. I do think that like people who hate me or get mad when stuff like that happens overestimate how much I can affect it. Like sometimes I just make a correct prediction, right? It's always a mixture, right? I always draw the example of like, in the retro video game community, big YouTubers will say like, hey, here's like these underrated gems they're just games that I enjoy, and they'll be like $5 games, right? And then like they get bought up because that video gets 1 million views and the price goes up to like $30 or whatever, and everybody's like, oh, nice market manipulation, dude. And it's like, he's obviously not trying to manipulate the market. He just wanted to make a cute video talking about a game that he enjoyed. Like, it's just like, what do you do? Like, you have to acknowledge that, yes, my words do impact the market, and I do take that very seriously, and that's why I always try to qualify and say all these things, but also I want to make fun, exciting videos that like cover things and talk about things and share my feelings and opinions, right? So it depends. I feel like some people, you have to factor in which is which, like, and also like how usually stuff, if anything I say that affects the market doesn't last long term. A market evens itself out and corrects itself over time. Information can affect a market, like proper information, right? But if it's just hype, then that's like forms a bubble, right? For the dumb cringe, like it forms a bubble and then it pops, whatever, right? That's the whole meme. But like most stuff is just like, it's a mixture of information and hype and like what to judge. I definitely acknowledge that, and I definitely like factor that in. And I think it's important to like, how do you know what percentages of what, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's something to keep in mind for sure. The only problem comes is when that people who like really hate me use it as a way to attack me, which that sucks. Like every time I make a Pokeyen money making guide, almost all the comments are like, oh, my money making method ruined. Like, thanks, Patrouski. Like, oh, this sucks. Like, now the market's fucked. And it's like, it's really sad that like literally making videos that spread information and is trying to help new players make Pokeyen makes people angry. That to me is really sad. That to me is like, it's really, really sad that instead of being like, oh man, like that's awesome, he put out this guide that's going to help other players use this method, you know, maybe it'll be effective for like a week or two and be not as good money, but people get distracted and things loop around. I always say PokeMMO has what I call like a rubber band economy. I don't know if this is I'm not educated, not like an actual term, but I always say in PokeMMO, what happens is, let's say breeding for Gibbles is really profitable. You can make like 300k Pokeyen per hour breeding Gibbles. Well, then everybody slowly finds out, oh, breeding Gibbles is super profitable. They go and do it. The margin closes. Well, now you make like 200k per hour making Gibbles, right? So it's not nearly as good. Well, then, while everyone's breeding Gibbles, no one's breeding Scythers. So now Scythers go up and become super profitable. And then people see that, and they go over and they do Scythers, and the margin closes there. And they do this with Magnemites, and they come back to Gibble. Like, it all kind of rubber bands and, like, it rotates. Like, as people move around to different money-making methods, they sort of close the margins. And that's the case with almost any MMO, but PokeMMO is a little less... I don't know if I'd say less stable. It's very stable, but it's more rubber bandy because of specifically, like, having to deal with Pokemon species, right? This is a great question. Does streaming make your shunting less daunting? It definitely shakes it up. I definitely encourage people to like, you should always be multitasking when you're shunting, right? So it's just a mixture. Like sometimes, I think streaming while shunting makes it really interesting and different, and it's talking to you guys, and like it adds a lot of entertainment for like about 3 hours or so. But I'm gonna be honest, after shunting for about 3 hours on stream, I'm like, okay, I kind of just want to like go watch anime and like do something else, like watch a movie or whatever, like switch locations. Or I switch it up a lot on stream. You'll see me, like, if you watch my streams every day, I do shiny hunting, I do PvP, I do well, not as much, you know, a little bit, but like money. I do a lot of money making, breeding for profit. You'll see how I always change up activities, because I think like diversity and variation in your gameplay is so important to like having fun long term, right? This is definitely super true. I appreciate you. This is very wholesome from you, Josh. I hated shunting beforehand, but now I love it because I started doing it while watching Pat streams, and now I'm hooked. There's a funny argument of like, you could argue it's like almost Stockholm syndrome, but I think you start the more you do shunting, the more you start to enjoy it. The more you start to like, it becomes a repetitive, consistent thing you can do. It's a background activity while you do other things. It feels efficient. You're making progress, and then you get those big hype, exciting moments after like long periods of kind of dull like sprees of like hard work and effort and time and just patience. Like I always tell people, if you're sitting there like looking at every single encounter, like seeing if there's a shiny, it's kind of like waiting for school to end by staring at the clock, right? It's gonna make time feel way slower. But if you like talk to a friend in class, it's gonna make it go by way quicker. So you want to just kind of shunt in the background for the most part, in my opinion, and just hope it happens, right? And just sort of do something else. Do work, play a different game, watch a TV show, movie, anime, etc. It's a good like multitasking activity. Very similar to RuneScape. All right, there's 10 seconds left on my phone timer for the hour-long test, so this next one will probably be my last one. I always tell people, like, oh yeah, time swipe hordes near a PC is about 1,000 encounters per hour. There's the timer done with, and this was almost exactly 1,000 encounters per hour. I think 30 encounters off. I started with 6,875 and ended with 7,845. So I got 970 encounters in 1 hour of time swipe hoarding. Now, I could have been a little more efficient. I definitely got a little distracted, you know, Twitch chatting and kind of memeing around. So it could have definitely been a little bit better. But I wonder if I do want to go ahead and actually install strings. I'm going to go ahead and get to like, I don't know, maybe here. We'll just stop here, or stop at like a nice even number in a quick sec. Maybe we'll get to like 8,000 encounters. I don't know. I'm going to get to something really quick, install strings, and then do another test. So that without strings, with the new instant text option, we were able to get 970 encounters per hour. Here, honestly, I've been wanting to do this all stream, and it's kind of been sitting there all stream, and I haven't grabbed it yet. So let's just go grab it really quick. I do have like 170k on the GTL. That'll put me over to 23 mil. So, I mean, it's a nice little extra cash stack bonus. I spent a fair bit of Pokeyen recently. I kind of do want to do a little more money making before the Christmas event, but I'm not gonna like super stress about it, as well as I just did a big money making challenge. It's gonna be much more casual whenever I feel like it, so I'm not super pressed about it. But if I like get to 30 mil, like gain like 7 more mil, or even like 2 more mil to like 25, it would definitely be nice heading into Christmas. Wait, this is really cute. I don't even think that this guy whispering me is from stream. I think he's just like an actual like just chill player. And he was like, hey, I was looking at your back. Can you show that cosmetic, please? Yes. The retro games handheld. This is a awesome, cheap Vanity. It obviously is trying to replicate like the look of like a certain console that we all played, obviously playing Pokemon on. It's an awesome, and it's so cheap. It's like 500k less than from 2020, a limited Vanity from 2020. Super awesome Vanity. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's super underrated. That was a good-eyed gamer asked in to double check on that. Wait, we talked about this earlier a little bit about how I can affect prices of things. The retro games handheld is actually a really good example of like, the problem is, okay, I've been talking about how much I love the retro games handheld forever, for years and years and years, and it's actually only gone down in price, right? The problem is, the reason why like someone who's claiming I'm like manipulating the market, or someone who hates whatever, can like always be correct, right? Is because if I say 10 things, if I point out even like 10 vanities, right? I'm like, oh, this one's awesome, that one's awesome, this is cool, whatever. And 9 of them stay the same price or go down. No one blinks an eye. But if I say one and it goes up in price, well, all of a sudden I'm market manipulating. All of a sudden, like every time I do it, it works. Like that's a big thing, is like, you have to acknowledge, content creator, you do have privileges, and like it does affect things to some extent, but it's about percentages, and like it's easy to ignore the times it doesn't happen, and then the one time it does, like, oh, got him, that's market manipulation, like fucking got you, dude, boned. I'm actually pretty shocked. I feel like a lot of older vanities have been dropping in price for like some of the first times in PokeMMO history. It's definitely something to consider as new vanities are coming out and the pixel work and sprite work and artwork is getting better on them and more interesting and more exciting and more flashy. I mean, look at the Flaming Demon Skull comparatively to like some of the older vanities. It's ridiculous. Like this looks like something that wasn't possible in PokeMMO just 2 years ago, right? Some of the older vanities are kind of being overshadowed and they're going down in price for like the first time in PokeMMO history. It's kind of wild. Like I feel like I talked about this earlier. I don't know if I'm seeing any, but like there were flaming skulls that weren't the Flaming Demon Skulls, like the actual like OG. Now there's none on the GTL anymore, to be fair, but there were some OG flaming skulls listed. Oh yeah, here it is. Wait, yes, 1.8 billion, the non-demon one, right? For a long time, these were worth too much Pokeyen to be listed on the GTL. They were worth over 2 billion, over the cash tap limit, right? So they weren't, but they've actually gone down in price now to be they're actually being listed on the GTL. It's crazy. Alongside, obviously these are not correctly priced demon ones, but it's a wild time, man. It is a wild time to see older vanities. It's a little scary, but it's also kind of a good thing that hopefully, you know, the prices are actually reflecting the demand, the desire for people who want to buy those vanities to use them and wear them for the drip and not just as an investment. Like it's a good thing, healthy overall for the market, I'd say, even though it's kind of a bummer for even players like myself who have bought a lot of these older vanities and invested in them, right? So there's a positives and negatives to it for sure. Dude, Dr. Mako over here is like, hey man, I've been rebreeding my shiny Bulbasaur up and the defense came out low. Like I really want your opinion on what I should do with it. Bro, it rolled 23. I think this is perfect. I would just keep this. I think this is perfection. I don't obviously do whatever you want to do. It's your amazing shiny at the end of the day. I would never rebreed this just to raise that. Like, I think this is perfect. I think this is beautiful. Like, it's going to cost so much Pokeyen. There's no wrong answer. Whatever you want. Obviously, whatever makes you feel satisfied and happy about it. But this is modest nature. The fact that it has nature, modest nature, 31 special attack, 31 speed, 31 HP, 20 plus in both defenses, special defense being 29, very, very high. EV train, very specifically to outspeed certain mons, I assume. Chlorophyll, hidden ability access, secret shiny, like, that's a top tier S tier shiny, man. That's an insane thing to own. Congratulations. You don't actually need 30-day donor status. You can just buy 720 shiny charms. Fuck, is that the math you would need to get, how many hours a day is that? 720 divided by 30. 24, so if you just don't sleep. Okay, I know you're memeing, like, obviously, but I actually want to do a nerd. Let's do a dumb calculation, right? Let's see how much you would spend. So, okay. So let's say you shiny hunt 16 hours a day for 30 days, right? 480 shiny charms is the math that would equal out to. If you wanted to buy shiny charms for the same amount of time you'd have donor status, I'm so curious what this would equate to. It's just to show you guys how unbelievably inefficient shiny charms are in comparison to donator status, right? So it would be 270,000 Pokeyen times 480. That's the math. 129.6 million Pokeyen. Comparatively to 3.8 for a 30-day donator status. 3.8 mil or 129 mil. You make your own pick, guys. Feel free to choose your own adventure. Holy, that's so crazy. Shiny charms are cool, and obviously you can pop them on top of donor status. I would never recommend popping a shiny charm off of Dono. It just is like super, if you want to do it for fun, obviously more practical, but it's just inefficient, right? That's the big thing. This is a really important thing to keep in mind. And I'm no PvP player, so I'm coming at it from a logistic angle, not like a claims angle. And any position I say about this, I'm not married to, I can be convinced otherwise. But I always say, like, the reason why stall, and it's very possible stall is broken in I have to qualify a bunch of PvP players get mad at me, which is fair. It's very possible stall is broken in PokeMMO. I have no idea. I don't have an opinion on that. I think people really hate stall, and it feels like stall makes up more of the metagame than it actually does. Because statistically, if you go to PvP stats, none of the top mons are played in stall. But what happens is, let's say the metagame is a perfect breakdown of 33% stall, 33% hyper aggro, 33% balance. Let's say it's a perfect split, right? The problem is those balance in those hyper aggro games might go end of 20 minutes per game. So let's say 15 minutes, right? So let's say you play 30 games of PvP in a day. That's a lot, but let's say, right, for this analogy or whatever, right, or for this example. Let's do 10 of those games are, let's say 20 of those, let's do, 10 are hyper aggro, 10 are stall, 10 are balance, right? So let's do 20 of those. This is representing balance and aggro. Let's say these games all last 15 minutes. I think that's kind of like, would be my guess, but it doesn't, the exact numbers don't really matter, right? Let's do 20 games times 15 minutes a game. That's 300 minutes, right? Divided by 60. So 5 hours, just a lot. Obviously no one plays them, but not many, but like 5 hours of PvP for 20 games, right? Let's say you play 10 games of stall, and those 10 games of stall each take 40 minutes apiece, right? Which is not that crazy, right? That's 400 minutes divided by 60, just 6.6 hours. So even if you play stall only 33% of the time, ends up being like 60% of your PvP playtime because those games take so much longer and they're more frustrating for a lot of players. Most players don't like playing against stall, right? So I feel like there's a big perception issue with stall where in every single Pokemon PvP metagame ever, people think that stall is actually more powerful and more prevalent than it usually is statistically because of those factors, right? Now, just because I say that like on average, that doesn't mean that it's not super prevalent in Pokemon. I don't know. I'm just trying to make some logical arguments that need to be considered when talking about or addressing stall in Pokemon. Dude, surely there's no way that's true. That would be insane. Someone just came in my chat and said, Pat, did you notice right now there's 50 people streaming PokeMMO? I can't count exactly. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm seeing, but I also like might be like filtering out certain languages, like at least 40-ish. Dude, that's insane. Like, that is so crazy. It like actually makes me so happy because like dude, it's so wild the difference of how the game is now and how the scene is now in 2024 versus 2021. Even 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago, I had a goal. Okay, 3 years ago, I had a goal that I wanted at least one person to be live streaming PokeMMO at all times. That was the goal. That wasn't being achieved back in 2021. And then I want to say about a year or two later, I think about a year, or even like 6 months to a year, I changed that goal to I want at least 3 people to be streaming PokeMMO and be live at all times so that people can have a choice of who they want to watch and find content that fits their needs. So look at the section now and see 40 people over lot is crazy. It is insane how much this game has grown. We are in the middle of a PokeMMO renaissance, and it needs to be studied and appreciated and acknowledged. It's so insane. It's so awesome. It's such a big deal. Like, having played this game since 2013, it's so wild. What's the new goal? 10, 20 at all times? Because obviously there's a lot right now, but I wouldn't say it's like the average. I would say 10 or 20 or so. I don't know, something like that. Dude, that's amazing. That is literally so incredible. That literally makes me like so jitterily, like so crazy, like shakingly happy. People get shaking mad. I'm shakingly happy over this. That's so crazy. Here's 9,000 encounters, by the way. Kind of a cool milestone. It's actually 9,001, which is kind of funny. Over 9,000. Ha ha ha. Funny joke in 2024 for sure. It might also be time to say bye. I've appreciated you guys a ton today. It's been a great stream, been a fun stream. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like the stream and the stream recap. It helps out tremendously with the algorithm. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through, well, this week, Monday through Wednesday, because of Thanksgiving and holidays. And I think I am going to be changing the schedule in the future upcoming weeks back to Monday/Thursday. I'm sorry, boys. I'm going to be cutting off that Friday week. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Holidays are super busy, as well as I've been streaming 6 days a week because of the catch events on the weekends anyway. So I'm going to be cutting back to Monday through Thursday coming up. So Monday through Thursday streams at 12 p.m. ET. Discord is down below if you're interested in that. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the stream, and you can afford it, and my content has earned it from you, it helps out tremendously. YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo donations do go the furthest. Thank you all for watching. Have a beautiful day. Play some PokeMMO. Play whatever games you enjoy. Have fun. And listen to some Christmas music. At least one song today, okay? I'll see you guys later. Peace, Areno. Peace, peace, peace. Hey, what's up? Patrouski here, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video. That means the world to me, and if your name is listed here, that means you went above and beyond and supported the channel financially, which allows me to even be here and have the time to do this. So thank you so very much.